Good morning, dear student. Myself, Dr. Sonal S. Mindra from Brijlal BNE Science College, Amravati. Today I am delivering a lecture on integrating graphics, charts, and table. It will be included in your technical writing documents. This video is for the PhD coursework student. Here we are discussing about the tables, graphics, and the chart. We have to determine the purpose of the graphic. It will evaluate the accuracy and validity of the data. When we use the graphics, charts or table, it will avoid the clutter and it will be easy to understand the content. The guideline for graphics are here. Think about where to put the graphics. If you have to put the graphics where the reader need them rather than a remote location, you can place on a same page as text reference or on opposite page text reference or to the page following first text reference or attachment in the appendices. Provide title, notes, keys and the source data. Follow the graphic number with a short precise title. Place a note directly underneath the title or at the bottom of the graphic. Use the keys and the ligands where it may be necessary and cite your source. Integrating graphics online. It will be used to the display and the speed of display will be the format of illustration and size. Storage requirement. It will reduce the storage requirement. Few pages will be small space will be required to show the information regarding your research work. Display the graphic with text. Consider providing a thumbprint view and lets user zoom in. There will be the tables. Tables are efficient and enabling the researcher to present a large amount of data in a small amount of space. Tables usually show exact numerical value and the datas are arranged in an orderly display of column and rows, which aids comparison. The reader can more easily comprehend and compare data when they are presented in tabular form. Tabulation is the process of condensation of information collected through the inquiry. A table represents summary of the data by using column and rows entering figure in the body of table. The purpose of table and figure are in same document is to enhance readers understanding of the information in the document. Most word processing software available today will allow you to create your own table and figure. And even most basic of word processor permit the embedding of the images, thus enabling you to include table and figure in almost any document. The main purpose of tabulation are to summarize a mass of numerical information and present it in the simpler possible form consistent with the purpose of the study. There are certain steps in tabulation. Transformation of information according to the classification from questionnaire to worksheet for facilitating the handling. Second step, after summarization of information in the worksheet, draft table is to be prepared. And the third step, that is the preparation of final table containing the result of the draft paper. There are certain forms of the table. Forms of the table may be single, double, triple, manifold. Formal tables are there. But according to the number or characteristic covered by the table, practical illustration will make the idea more clear. A simple table show only one characteristic. The data are presented only in terms of one of their characteristic. In two full table, two characteristics are included. In many fold table, many characteristics are included. Formal tables are there. This formal table avoid the excessive use of heavy horizontal and vertical crosses lines and create grid-like loop. Use plenty of white spaces. Formal tables are the give each table a title and number. Be sure that table is clear and self-contained. Create clear and concise heading for all columns and rows. Use abbreviation or symbols that the reader would know else spell out. Round off number when possible for the ease of reading. Align number on the right side. Place necessary explanatory notes either between the title and table or at the bottom of the table. Place footnotes below the table. Place any source references below the footnotes. Table and charts. With all charts, also include the data somewhere for reader. Whenever you are entering the table into your research work, please give the proper syntax to refer to the charts and table. You can write see the table number 1 or with the table number 1 and its name, what information it will be giving. In your text, if you are writing see the figure number 2, and with the chart if you are writing figure number 2 and give the name to the chart. There are particular specific types of table analysis of variances that is called as an ANOVA tables, ANOVA, ANOVA tables. This is a conventional format for an ANOVA table is to list the sources in the stub table when the degrees of freedom and the F ratios are there. Give the subject variable an error first and then within the subject any error. Mean square errors must be enclosed into the parenthesis. Provide a general note to the table to explain this value. Use asterisk to identify statistically significant ratios and provide the probability into the footnotes. Some there are the word tables also. Most tables which are the word tables, they will be used to represent quantitative data. Some table consist mainly of words. Word table represented the comparison and it will be gives the descriptive information. A word table can enable the reader to compare characteristic of studies in an article that reviews many studies, or it can present questions and responses from a survey or show an outline of the element of the theory. Word tables illustrate the discussion in the text. They should not repeat the discussion. Word table include the same elements of format as do other types of table. You can compare between applied research and basic research. You should give the notes in table. There will be the three types of notes given in the table: general notes, specific notes, or the probability notes. All of them must be placed below the table in that order. General notes explain the qualify and provide information about the table. Put explanation of abbreviation, symbol, etc. Specific notes explain and provide information about a particular column or a particular row or an individual entry. And probability notes provide the reader with the results of the text for statistical significance. Asterisk indicate the values for which the hypothesis is rejected. So there will be some basic structure about the table. The table will gives us the information which we have collected in the form of the data. Choose chart type of base data what you want to show. Use graphics show rather than tell. The use of the paper is the best way to recognize your thoughts to the anyone who is reading the paper, eliminating unnecessary information. Whenever you are giving the means a table, there are different parts in the table. There will be the title to the table, subhead, sub entries, caption head, body to the table, footnotes are given to the table, source are given to the table. So there will be the main consideration in construction of table is that table should be simple as it should be, as simple as it is. It is advisable to have a rough draft of the table before preparation of actual table. The size of different columns should be adjusted that the overall length of the table is proportionate to its breadth. The units of measurement should be clearly stated. The title of the table should be precise. Whenever possible, figure may be rounded off. The size of the table should not be too large. Different columns show for comparison should be placed side by side. So there are some these are the some general guidelines for the tables. It's a necessity that visual material such as table and figure can be used quickly and efficiently to present a large amount of information to an audience, but visual must be used to assist communication, not to use up space. So documentation can be more precise and more informating by using the tables. So tables can also be used within the assignments also. So second type is the graphs or the chart. Graphs are good at quickly conveying relationship like comparison and distribution. The most common forms of graphs are scatter plots, line graphs, bar graphs, pictorial graphs, which we called as a chart. So there are various type of the chart. Pie chart is given in this presentation, which we are seeing. A pie chart shows the proportional size of items that make up a data series to the sum of the item. It always shows only one data series and useful when you want to emphasize a significant element. By preparing the table into the Microsoft table form, uh, you can prepare the table and convert it into the chart. That is called as an Excel work, actually, MS Excel. In the MS Excel, you can prepare the table and convert that table into the graphical representation form, that is in the form of pie chart. It will be in the form of the scatter plots. It may be in the form of bar graph, line graph, pictorial graph that we call as a pie graph. So these are the different forms of the chart which we can use to show the data. This pictorial graph shown into this slide is showing that it is used to show the quantitative differences between the groups. Pictorial graphs can be very dissipative. If the height of an image is double, its area is quadrupled. Therefore, greater care should be taken that image representing the same value must be the same size. Guideline for pie charts: use not more than 6 or 7 division. Move clockwise from largest to the smallest wages. It can be useful for the percentage and money. Draw and label each wage carefully. There are some misuses when the pie wage that's largest isn't what you want to highlight. Wage size that don't correspond to 100. Wages too small to accommodate the information. There are some bar charts that we call as a bar graph come in three main types: solid vertical bars, multiple bars, and the sliding bars that we call as solid vertical or horizontal bars. In solid bars, the independent variable is categorized and each bar represent one kind of the data. Example, a bar graph of monthly expenditure. A multiple graph can show more complex information than a simple bar graph. Example, monthly expenditures divided into the categories like housing, food, transportation, etc. And in a sliding bar graph, the bar graph divided by an horizontal line which serve as the baseline, enabling the data above and below a specific reference point. Example, high and low temperature or the average temperature. Column charts are also there. Column charts show the data change over a period of time or illustrate comparison among the item. It will be categorized or organized horizontally We can form the different types of the column charts, stacked column charts or simple column chart. Bar and column chart are used among the individual items, relationship of individual to whole, and it will be changes over a time. Use limited number of bars. Be sure to show comparison clearly. Keep bar widths equal and adjust space between the bars clearly. Then there will be cone type, cylinder or pyramid charts. This type of the chart you can see into the MS Excel easily. Just draw any content of the table, write the monthly expenditure, and you will convert into the different forms of the charts. It may be the bar graph, or it may be the line graph, or the scatter plots, or it will be the cone type or cylinder type or the pyramid chart. This cone, cylinder and pyramid data markers can lend a dramatic effect, that is the 3D column. If we have to show the 3D effect, we can use such a type of the chart. Line charts are there. These line charts are the simple. It will be giving the information or relationship between the quantitative variables. Customarily, the independent variable is plotted among the x-axis and the dependent variable is plotted among the y-axis. Then there will be the schedule charts. The guidelines are there. Make chart lines thick as or thicker than the axis line. Use shading. You can use the multiple color to compare the result. There are flow charts also. This will tell a story about a process, usually hard to read. It will represent only the overviews. Multiple page mechanism can be used. There will be limitation to the number of shape, and run the sequence from top to bottom or from left to right. The flow charts are also used to give the stepwise procedure. There should be proper organization of the chart. You cannot enter anywhere the charts. There will be the some specific relationship between the data and the chart. Emphasize high level position. Connect boxes to show the reporting relationship. There will be again a donut type of the chart. This donut type of the chart is like a pie chart. It shows the relationship of parts to a whole, but it can contain more than one data series. Each ring of the donut chart represent the data series. Here there will be the revenues from the gasoline and the taxes, which will be for the year 1 and the year 2. There will be certain area charts are there. This area chart will be used to explain the relationship of individual to the whole, and it will be changes over the time. So area charts are also there. These charts can describe the relationship between the parts of group or object or the sequence of operation in a process. Charts are usually boxes connected with lines. For example, organizational charts show the hierarchy in the group. Flow chart show the sequence of step in the process. As we previously seen the flow chart, it will show the sequence of steps. And schematic shows the components of the system. There are again the dot types of the chart also there. Then 100% graphs are also there. This is a scatter chart. This scatter charts will be composed of individual dots that represent the value of specific event on the scale established by the two variable plotted on the x and y axis. When the dot cluster together, a correlation is implied. On the other hand, when the dots are scattered randomly, no correlation is seen. For example, a cluster of dots along a diagonal implies a linear relationship, and if all the dots fall on a diagonal line, the coefficient of correlation is the 1. There will be the bubble charts. The bubble chart is a type of a scattering chart. The size of the data maker indicate the value of the third variable. They will be arranging your data into the rows and column and then enter the corresponding values. the bubble size in the adjacent row of the column. So there will be the bubble charts also. Radar charts. In a radar charts, each category has its own value axis radiating from a center point and the lines connected to the values of the same series. The radar chart compare the number of data series. Here we are seeing the diagram of the radar chart, and all this type of chart, area, column, bar chart, or the line, pie, donut, stock, bubble, or radar or surface chart, we can see into the MS Excel. This is a surface chart which will be useful when you want to find optimum combination between the two sets of data. As in topographic map, colors and pattern indicate the areas that are in the same range of the values. In preparation of the tables and this chart, there will avoid the specific effect and the most advanced software packages should be used. Graph when are you are creating, there will be certain guidelines for preparing or creating a graph. You can prepare the graph with computer software that generates graph will often handle most of these steps automatically. Use bright white paper. Use medium line for the vertical and horizontal axis. Choose the appropriate grid scale. In line graph, a change in the proportionate size of the x unit to the y units changes the slant line in the slant line. Indicate the unit of measurement. If the units of measurement on the axis do not begin at 0, break the axis with a double slash. Clearly label each axis with both the quantity measured. Position of the axis label parallel to its axis. Do not stack later so that the labels reads vertically. Use distinct simple geometrical forms for plotting the points. Good choice are open and solid circles, triangles you can be used in combination. So this will be about the tables and charts which will be used into the research work, which will be making the reader uh, to know all the readings or all the practical work which you have carried for your paper. Thank you so much for the patience listening.